So with that, I'm going to invite Cassidy up here. I'm not going to slaughter her last name. And she's going to talk to us about Placer Protect.
Perfect.
There you go.
Okay. Hi, my name is Cassidy Pacanici. I'm an investigative assistant at Placer County District Attorney's Office, part of a task force team called Placer Protect, started by our elder abuse prosecutor supervising district. I have to change that. She got a recent promotion and to supervising deputy district attorney Shannon Quigley. We ran a task force team called Protect, and we started the team about 10 years ago when we decided that we wanted to do more than just prosecute, right? We wanted to be able to have a team. So the idea being that when we go out in the field and we have law enforcement arrest maybe grandson for stealing from grandma, we might have put the bad guy in jail or taken him away from the house for a time being, but we might have taken away her access to transportation, who was giving her medication, getting her in and out of bed, cooking her meals. And so we wanted to have a team that we could call and say, we have a senior in need, what can you do? So we started this task force team about 10 years ago, and then it's blossomed into outreach and awareness. So we're going to talk a little bit about the types of abuse that we see and what you can do in your community to help protect seniors. So we cover physical abuse, financial abuse, neglect. What do you think makes our seniors vulnerable to crime?
Financial.
Financial? What about finances?
Pardon?
What about it?
Because dealing with them in their cars and everything else, sometimes the kids keep the keys to the car and won't let them have it, and then take over all their finances and start spending their money.
Especially when technology is involved and online banking and stuff like that,
Yeah.
What else? What else makes our seniors get?
In our line of business, we come across clients that parents are afraid of their kids and let them take over because they get threatened to go into a senior care facility when they really want to stay.
So fear and desire to be independent, and then they give up that independence with the hope of maybe isolation.
Yeah, and they don't want to be alone, and their only way they're going to have their kids with them is if they let them do whatever they want.
That's a good one. We don't hear that response. Mostly it's trusting, they're just trustworthy, or technology advancements, but that's a great example.
It's like extortion.
It is, yeah. And our seniors carry most of the wealth in the United States, right? So they get a Social Security check, and our perpetrators know that. Who do you think the bad guys are in most of our cases?
Family.
Yeah.
Is there an age what an elder is?
Yeah, that's a good question. Yeah, so we cover anyone who's an elder adult, which on the legal side of things is anyone who's over the age of 65.
Dang it.
65? But on the Adult Protective Services, they provide services for anyone who's 60 and older. And then we also cover dependent adults. So anyone who's between the ages of 18 and 64 who has some sort of daily care need. We cover those as well. Yeah. But yeah, so most of the perpetrators in our case are someone the senior knows, loves, and trusts. And they've broken that trust. So when we're talking about physical abuse, we see a push, punch, shove. We'll see couples who are trying to stay independent in their home because they can't afford assisted living, right? Assisted living is really expensive. And so maybe grandfather's starting to have cognitive decline. He wants to drive, but he gets lost. Grandma decides to take away the keys and he pushes her. Does that mean we throw grandpa in jail? No, but that's when we get our team involved. And then we're going to talk primarily about financial abuse cases. Scams. Yes, and scams. Let's say I'm a housekeeper, and I come into your house, and I'm going to clean your house. Ladies, where am I going to look for your purse?
In your bedroom?
I like in the bedroom. That's good.
By the front door.
By the front door.
I was like, say it, on the kitchen counter.
On the kitchen counter by the front door. Yep.
Yeah, right where you walk in.
Where am I going to look, gentlemen, for your checkbook? Where am I going to look?
Yes.
In the desk, right? What about your medications? Where am I going to look?
Bathroom.
the back room. What about your jewelry, ladies? Where am I gonna look?
Bedroom.
So if I can name all of those places where you keep those items, so can our perpetrators, right? And that they now know where to look. So let me give you some examples. Let's say I require a caregiver to go down to the grocery store. And so I give the caregiver my debit card and my PIN number. And she goes down to the grocery store and she gets me 5 bags of groceries, uses my PIN number, and brings me back those 5 bags of groceries. Is that a crime? No. She did what I asked. Not a good idea to give someone your PIN, but she did what I asked.
But grandma says, get something for yourself while you're there.
That makes that tricky. But what if she goes down to the grocery store, she buys 5 bags of groceries, and she comes back and only gives me 2?
Yeah, maybe that's more than grandma intended.
That's maybe more than grandma intended.
Or she gets cash back on it.
Yes. And most of our seniors aren't asking for receipts or don't know how much they're actually spending on a debit card.
Because it's email.
Would that be fraud?
Yes, yeah. If they're doing something without consent.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's illegal.
Are you prosecuting cases like that
Yeah.
with people buying groceries and stuff and credit cards?
The sad part is most of the time the senior doesn't find out until the bank account is entirely active.
Yeah.
And it's been happening for months because they aren't asking for receipts. They don't know how much is being spent.
They don't have a second set of eyes on the bank statements, somebody that they trust, maybe not having access to the account, but watching the bank statement and making sure, oh, were you really supposed to spend $500 at the grocery store every time? Online shopping, and just,
Is that because they don't have any family members around? Or?
there are sometimes
Or they
families,
trust.
they come after they see the hundreds of
They
thousands.
trust that person, right? And so they give it willingly, not thinking that that person is going to violate that trust. Let me give another example. Let's say my grandmother's going into the hospital for surgery, and I say, Grandma, I know that you're worried about paying your bills. And
Another
mortgage."
example, sorry to interrupt, but a real scenario.
Yeah, real scenario. You're going in the hospital. I'll take care of your bills. Let's go down to the bank account. You can add me to your bank account, and I'll take care of everything, right? So we go down to the bank. She adds me to the bank account, goes into the hospital, and a month later she comes out, goes to the bank, and they say, oh my gosh, Laura, I'm so sorry. Your granddaughter just withdrew $100,000. Is that a crime?
Yeah.
Morally, but no, she allowed the granddaughter access to join the account.
Is that a verbal allowance?
So when you add someone to your bank account, you are adding them as a joint account owner of the funds. So that becomes a very difficult case to prosecute. So there are other options like power of attorney, or what you can do is open a second bank account that they have access to that's not your life savings. Or you can get them a gift card to go down to the grocery store and buy you groceries.
Write them a check.
Yes, write them a check. There are plenty of other options that you don't need to give someone access to your bank account.
I like the second bank account option. I learned about that through this work. And if you know somebody that has a caregiver, suggest that.
Yeah, because then they can only take the $500 that's in there, not your.
They don't drain everything over time.
What about, so let's say my 85-year-old grandfather meets a 35-year-old young lady.
This happens
This happens really.
all the time.
Let's say he starts taking her out to dinner and they start traveling and he buys her a new car and then he buys her a new $700,000 house. Is that a crime?
No,
I'm not sure. I don't know. I
no,
don't know.
it's not a crime.
I don't
No, it's not. But my grandfather can spend his money however he sees fit, right?
The kids will think it's a crime.
The kids may think it's a crime.
They're not
Well,
happy.
and generally the kids will try to intervene and stop it, but the elderly person is usually a widower. And so they are going through the grief process, they're just looking for companionship, and so they will push away their kids or anybody that tells them, no, no, no. That's not a good idea. That person doesn't want you because you're suave.
Uh-huh.
Yeah?
But what if you find out in that scenario that my grandfather has dementia and he thought the 35-year-old was his granddaughter?
That's great.
But that's a crime, but you
Taking
have to
advantage of-
medically,
Yeah.
medically.
It's hard.
And that's the tricky part of
Yeah.
my job is trying to prove capacity and
Yeah.
what that looks like.
And that they knew he lacked capacity and took advantage of it.
Yeah, that's a tough one.
Is everyone familiar with powers of attorney?
Gee, Ross, are we?
We're gonna need your contact. Add it right after legal services and we're.
Yeah.
So the most important part about power of attorney is that it's written for my benefit. So as long as Cass has access and she's my power of attorney, if she goes down to the bank account and that power of attorney says she has to act in my best interest, and she withdraws $50,000 and buys herself a brand new car, we can prosecute those types of cases. So what my biggest caution for some of our seniors is that they print stuff online, right? Or their kids print stuff online and they sign it without really realizing the implications of the documents that they've signed. Any questions on powers of attorney?
I have the for sale sign up because we get a lot of calls on our fraud hotline about real estate fraud and protecting the title and the deed to their home. And the cases we see are similar to what Shannon described. An adult child telling the parent that they are opening a loan for a garage to be built, or it's something beside the deed to the home, and the parent doesn't understand what's happening and just trusts in the signs. And so we're always like, for anything, please don't sign anything without understanding it, because now that adult child took the deed to their home, and it's really hard to undo that, and it's civil and it's just messy. So we do not really have a system that's a legislative level to protect property like that. We can't just red flag a senior that owns property, like having to do second step authorization before they sign something if we like can red flag the deed. But just knowing that that can happen in that kind of situation, signing things over like your deed, that's not actually something that somebody's telling you it is to sign. So yeah, that's the only way we see real estate fraud.
So when it's civil, you can't prosecute.
Civil separate, we don't do civil, and that's sad. It's more money out of the elder's pocket to hire somebody to hopefully undo the quit claim deed. It's just messy. We don't.
There are times when there are criminal cases, but in order to file a criminal case, I have to have proof beyond a reasonable doubt. So when we're talking about a victim's capacity or them signing a document and they have capacity, so arguably they should have known what they signed, that can be a difficult criminal case.
Or forging a signature or something.
Where do you get your referrals? Where do they, your input?
To our office?
Yes.
So
Where does
we
it come
work
from?
with all of the local law enforcement agencies. So anytime, so if a citizen calls and files a report with the Auburn Police Department, the Auburn Police Department takes the report, does the investigation, and then they send that report to our office. And if it's elder case, it lands on my desk. And then I review it, and I may either file the case or I may work with the law enforcement agency to investigate it more.
Or adult protective services that we'll get to cross-report with law enforcement. If they get a call on their line, just a suspected elder abuse or an elder in need or an elder just like, I need help because of X, Y, and Z, they'll make a report and they'll tell law enforcement and tell us. So we just all work together, and that's the point and beauty of protecting the team. Scams, my focus.
Scams, boy.
Oh, yeah.
Anyone heard of them?
That's my cell phone that goes off 20 times a day.
I'll show you how to, if it's an iPhone, I know how to
Yeah, it drives me
not
nuts.
just block them, but you can
You're
filter
proof.
unknown callers so you don't even hear it ring.
Well, no, it does, and then it just comes up with a message. And
Yeah.
says,
Yeah, I know. That's
Crazy.
unfortunate.
yeah.
So I could stand here and tell you every type of scam, but I'm hoping you guys will just take away red flags. But here are the most common that we hear about, which are just text message, email, phone calls, or in person. IRS, that happens around the tax season. Our IRS partners will say, we work with the government, we don't work that quickly, it takes at least 90 days, we send a letter. So just know that they don't call you as soon as you file it.
They're not going to knock on your door.
Yeah, they're not going to demand your hand. Yeah.
You know, it's
People believe it.
speedy.
Who's heard of the grandparent scam?
Yeah.
We kind of talked about the grandparent
Oh, yeah.
scam.
Oh,
Yeah, your
That's
grandson's
what
in jail.
Yes.
And,
yes, in Mexico. I'm in
Yeah.
Mexico City, and I need
Emergency
some
money,
Yeah.
bail money needed. Yeah,
I
that's
know
not
something that
seasonal. That's all
happened
we
to you
hear.
because the guy sounded like the grandson.
Yeah, Ray said they have a family passcode. That's on one of our slides as a solution. So we encourage everyone to have a family.
AI is not going to front all this.
No,
Totally.
The challenging part about technology is now, especially in the younger generation, right? They post so much on Facebook, right? So
Yeah.
there's a video of your grandson in Hawaii riding a motorcycle, and then the
Oh.
scam artists get it. They now know who your grandson is. They can research who you are as the grandparent. They know your grandson's in Hawaii and likes to motorcycle ride, and they create the story that he was in a motorcycle accident, and he's in the hospital, and he needs money for surgery, whatever it may be. And they can replicate his voice, so it sounds like grandson
Yeah,
as
well,
well.
people have
They
not
can
known.
even replicate images, so not even just the voice, but our lieutenant did an investigative training and he came on the screen and he looked just like Elon Musk. So you can make yourself look like anybody. That's how the romance scams occur on the dating apps. And a lot of the times it's
Why are you
fake
pointing at
photos.
me? I don't do
Man, you talked about, yeah. Yeah. You knew about things, it sounded like.
Are you a little sensitive about something?
No, she just kept going like
But
this.
you knew about when Grandpa bought 39-year-old cars. You know, he can do it if he wants to. Yeah.
I'm on the dating apps for
Like, I'm not catfishing anyone. Good. 4 main red flags that I hope you take away, like I said, instead of just all the examples we can discuss. These are what all scams entail. So they pretend to be somebody that they aren't, like the IRS or like your grandchild or your bank account through an email saying suspicious activity, log in here, right? It's usually a problem, rarely a prize. We hear about Publishers Clearinghouse has happened like 3 times over the past few years, but it's like prizes like PG&E or
Canadian lottery.
yeah, the lottery scam. She prosecuted that. No, did you prosecute that?
No, we got the money back.
Yeah, so yeah, that tells you won the lottery, but you have to pay the taxes on it first.
She paid $160,000 in taxes and armored truck and security.
Wow.
Thinking she'd get like millions, you know, if she just paid that taxes.
Wow.
Yeah, so rarely a prize, but we do hear about it, and people get really excited. The one that we're seeing actually is a letter in the mail saying you're next of kin. It's from Canada, commonly.
Yeah.
Next of kin, and you're the inheritance like winner, I guess. You inherited millions. Just verify your account you wanted to, or call us back. We'll get your credit card. There's so many things, but problems are the main that we hear about. So yeah, they pressure you to act immediately when there's a problem. They play with your emotions. Grandchild, mostly, they say don't tell anybody, keep it confidential, don't tell mom and dad. If you go down to the bank, when the scammers like stay on the phone, they have a script and tell the bankers that we are remodeling the kitchen, you're remodeling the bathroom, that's why you're withdrawing funds. So they never want you to share with somebody, because that somebody then can stop you and prevent them from getting the money from you. So pressuring to act immediately. No reputable companies will tell you have to make a decision right then on the spot. If it is a good company, they'll give you a time frame, a due date, and they won't say a specific form of payment that's required. They don't care how you pay, they just want you to pay.
How many people pay with Green Dot cards?
With what?
Green Dot cards, where you pay your bills with Google or any sort of like Amazon cards.
Well, green dot cards are generally prisoners, by the way.
Yeah. So and like they're like.
I know. Why would I know that?
I'm gonna point to you later.
But
So how do you find these people?
You don't.
So that's the tricky part, and that's why we engage in outreach and awareness, right? There are a handful of cases where we've been able to catch a perpetrator. Like we had a virus case where a virus alert popped up on our computer. It said, "Oh my gosh, your account has been compromised. Call this number."
I've had that.
She picked up the phone. She called the number, and they go, "Oh my gosh, do you bank online?" She goes, "Yes." "How much money do you have in your account?" $11,000. They say, "Go down to the bank. You need to withdraw because they're going to access your account. Send it in a package to the Federal Bank Reserve. Here's the address." So she goes down to the post office and she
This happened.
Yes, this is real life.
I know somebody it happened to.
Yeah.
No.
Now, thankfully, she sends the package.
They're wise.
She goes home and she talks to grandson, and grandson goes, "Whoa, let's get law enforcement involved." And we were able to get the person who picked up the package on the other end. That doesn't happen very often. Usually the money is moved around so much, and quite frankly, it doesn't remain in the United States. And so the odds of us getting that money back or even finding someone we can prosecute is really
Fortunately, the banks are getting wise to that because my friend was going to do that, like $4,000 or $5,000, and the bank was kind of wise to it and
Good.
cautioned her and
Good.
stopped it.
Yeah, the
it's hard to
banks,
stop them and prosecute them. When you send money over the wire, it's gone really quickly. You have to report, hopefully within 72 hours, maybe they can reverse the transaction. That's why one of the tips is always pay in credit cards. You can dispute it as fraud, hopefully, and get money back. Debit card is gone. Cash is
Cryptocurrency
gone.
is
Crypto, Bitcoin, all of
not
that. We don't encourage playing around with it or using that to make payments. Yeah, it's hard to get them. But that's why we're here. And identity theft occurs, also can be part of the scam. It's not just always seeking your money. It could be wanting your social security number and then going and opening a credit loan in your name. And so one proactive way to protect your finances is freezing your credit file. Who has a frozen credit file? Everyone should
who's
check
checked their
that.
credit?
Yeah, please check your credit report and just make sure everything is how it should be. Good, yeah, freeze it online, you can do it, freeze on the annualcreditreport.com, each credit bureau. It takes a couple minutes, but it's safety. Make sure no one can open a loan in your name. So please do that. And then if you're hiring contractors, get referrals, get multiple quotes, check references. I get a lot of calls that say something happened and then they looked up that name and they see a lot of bad reviews after the fact. And so it's unfortunate. And it's hard, again, that's kind of a civil side of things. It's hard for us to prosecute that when the work is done. And one of our partners is Contractor State Licensing Board. We do work a lot with them. You can make complaints and referrals to them and they have an investigator assigned. So that is great to have them on our team. But yes, please be aware, those are in-person scams. We have a lot of stories of contractor scams, unfortunately. Like, well, one example was a sweet lady wanted her cabinets redone, and the contractor was like, yeah, I can do it, but of course, please pay me before to go buy the material. I can't get the material until you pay me. I don't have the money to get the material. And she said, that makes sense, and gave him thousands of dollars to go to the cabinets, go to Home Depot to get the cabinets. Of course, he didn't return. And so that's
And sometimes they give them their own keys to let themselves in and out.
Yeah, don't.
And if you have a contractor in your home, like we mentioned earlier about your valuables, keeping them in a safe place. If you have somebody
Out of sight.
doing work, yeah, don't put jewelry in the jewelry box. It's sad. It's not just the monetary value, it's sentimental. When we get calls and they can't really prove the house cleaner or whoever they think stole from them. There's not surveillance in their home showing they took it, but they know that's the only person that's been in their house. But that evidence sometimes isn't strong enough to fully prosecute. And again, we can't reimburse the value lost. Sentimental.
When I'm at the beach, I always put my wallet in the bottom of my shoe and pushed up because they never think of your money and your wallet pushed up
Oh,
in your
yes,
shoe.
they will.
Well. Maybe next time you're in Monterey.
I had someone tell
Only
me,
if they need you.
Put them on and run away.
Incidentally, we also see sometimes scams purporting to be from a place like Costco or Walmart or some company where you probably do business with, and they call it maybe your credit card was used here. We're
Yeah.
trying to help you,
Yep. That's
but
artificial
it's
intelligence.
and they're taking a chance that you went to Walmart,
Yeah.
Costco,
Amazon.
Or your
and-
Amazon.
or
Yeah.
Amazon.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Not an iPhone.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and they find that through I had a mailbox and locking your mailbox lock your mailbox as a proactive step to take to protect your things because they can just walk through a neighborhood and take mail and then call that person and know like you have Verizon or know you have Costco or know who you work with and you get mail from and then they can have a higher chance of getting you to fall for clicking the link and logging in and it's unfortunate. So that's artificial intelligence, yes. Nowadays also you can have caller ID. We used to rely on the caller IDs being out of the state or having an accent when you answered the phone and knowing, oh, they're not local, this is a scam. But now they can be in a different country or a different state and it says Sutter Health or it says 530 as the area code because it's easy and it's free on Google to do that. And so it's not something to rely on anymore. Second guess it. If you're not initiating the contact, it's most likely a scammer. So that's the takeaway there. And just hanging up, you don't have to talk to anybody. You don't need to respond. If it's a legit company, they will figure out a way to get a hold of you
Yeah,
again.
you need to stop being so polite.
Yeah, no, you don't have to be polite. It's
I just
okay.
don't
Usually
answer
respond
the
to
phone
the
to numbers you
phone
don't
language.
know.
yeah, if it's important, they'll answer.
Yeah.
Yes, but also don't trust voice messages because if it's Sutter Health, but it's not really Sutter Health, and they leave a voicemail, please go get your actual card, your medical billing card, or your bank card, whoever
I
they're
just
claiming
look
to
at the
be.
phone numbers.
Use the trusted phone number. Yes, always. Or that's why we have a fraud hotline. I'll go back now. It's at the end. We have a fraud hotline that you can call. It's on the back of those flyers that you left out, both of them, the legal one and the navigating your finances. On the back, you can call like, hey, I don't know about this. I just got contacted by X, Y, and Z. I'm not sure. And then I'll just be like, yeah, that's a scam. 99.9% of the time. Or if it's Social Security or whoever, I will find a legitimate phone number for you to call. Don't engage in the contact that they made.
Ladies, when you go grocery
Yeah.
shopping, where do you put your purse?
Oh my gosh, I'm wearing it because I had customers tell me they had a purse with $40 in it and they just turned to look at something in the grocery store and it's gone. Yeah.
Just like that?
Yep, nope, I don't leave mine in the car.
I leave mine with my wife.
Smart.
Yes.
First, I leave them in the car.
Are there any current examples of how scams are using AI as far as impersonating people or pictures or
Yeah, so
signatures?
one of the ones we just kind of had a resolution on was a romance scam, right? So they start talking on a dating app, they go back and forth. He's calling her and sending her pictures. He's a very handsome man, has a military background, right? And they even do a video call at some point. In the video call, she appears to be talking to this man, the same man she got photographs from, and they have a call and they, engage in conversations. And this happens over a period of months.
And you always have an excuse to not meet in person, but yes,
Yeah.
you can FaceTime fake images.
It's AI.
You can change the
And
voice.
it turns out, she sent him hundreds of thousands of dollars, and the man at the other end was not the man in the photographs, was not the man that was in the video. That was all AI generated over his
He's in
face.
Nigeria.
Yeah. To
Can
make
you
it
explain
look
to
like-
me why would send any man money?
So I
Anyway,
think the reason it works is that it takes, they spend so much time. They spent months with this victim before they even asked for money.
And it
And
wasn't
so-
100,000 at first. It was
Yeah,
increments.
close. And so it feels like a scammer wouldn't spend that amount of time, right? And they spend hours talking on the phone and emailing, having that kind of connection. And so I think by the time they ask for money, that person feels like they're so invested and this has taken so long that it can't be a scam.
And it's usually scenarios like my mom needs some emergency life-saving surgery, or I'm going to open a business, so I just need a loan. I'll pay you back when I'm successful and take care of us. It's things like that. And it is over months of time, 10, 20, 30.
It's not all 90 days, fiance.
No.
Yeah.
Sorry, I don't see
And
you
they
then.
usually find people who are more vulnerable, who are more isolated, who want to pick up the phone
It
and
is
talk
what
to
ours
somebody,
does,
right?
this one.
So they
I
enjoy, and some of them, when we talk to some of these seniors, we're like, it's a scam. The person on the phone is a scam, and they're like, I don't care. I don't care. I will send them money. If they will talk to me, I do not care.
no.
They want to marry me.
And that's how they, the FBI talks about a scenario with investments of crypto, and he believed he was talking to somebody. It started off by just a text message that went to the wrong person, and she knew who she was sending it to, that it was a widow, and she said something like, oh, my dog just got out of the vet, thanks. And he was like confused about it, but then he said, oh, I'm glad, and it just started a conversation, and then she's like, oh, who are
You got it.
you?
So
Oh,
it's such an innocent start,
Yeah.
but it could be a scam call.
And then artificial intelligence makes bank websites that they're replicated to look identical to the bank you usually log in with. So they can find that through also your mailbox. They see who you bank with. If you get credits from Chase or Bank of America, and then they'll email you like, hey, we just want you to review the account, make sure everything looks good, log in here. And it goes and takes you. And if you're not taking time to look at the URL website and noticing it misspelled Bank of America with like 2 A's at the end, or Amazon with 2 Z's, something, then you're going to log in, and now they have access. So yes, artificial intelligence is the
And
leader
also-
of crime right now.
Also,
Scams.
the emails going on right now where they do this, they did this to me when I served as governor, and they do it every year, is they basically create a Gmail account and say it's my name, and create this whole thing and ask for you to send specific credit card, money cards, whatever these cards are that they're wanting. And because I'm in a meeting and I can't talk right now, but I really need them
Yeah.
to give money. People fall for that.
Yeah.
And I'm like, look at the email. I'm not going to change my email.
They've done that with
And that's
churches I speak at. They pretend to be the pastor and asking
Yeah.
for some family in need. We're not going to say which family, just please donate to help. And people do. So yes.
It's crazy.
So one of the other scams we've seen, this one on the top, is a cash drop scam. So they target seniors at grocery stores, and then they are watching, in the picture on the left, they're watching the senior enter his PIN number while he checks out. Then they drop cash on the ground, and the second picture is her actually handing the cash back to him and saying, you dropped cash. It's not his cash, but she says, you dropped cash, here, put it in your wallet. What they do is they follow you out to the parking lot, and they approach you usually in a pair and say, oh my gosh, I didn't realize that was my partner's money. It wasn't yours. He needs it back. They usually don't always speak English very well, and so it can be kind of confusing. And so they get the senior to take out their wallet, they reach for the cash, and what the senior doesn't realize is they slide out the debit card at the same time. And now they have a PIN number, and they can take it to the bank and withdraw funds.
So one of our programs is the Shop Safe program, and we work with all the police department at the grocery outlet. And we have volunteers at the law enforcement teams at centers giving out crossbody bags, because that's the best way to keep your purses on you, zipped up. You don't have to worry about someone stealing it out of the grocery cart or stealing your wallet out of it. And then we just being aware of your surroundings. We just want to bring awareness. That's the point of our team, again, is outreach to educate everybody that it does happen. One victim's one too many. We saw too many APS reports. That's how we heard about it. You asked about referrals. That's our partner APS that sent the same narrative, and now they're called in and they just said, I was at the grocery store and somebody approached me, distracted me. I didn't know until I got to the register that my wallet was gone. We couldn't hold them accountable. They didn't know who the suspect was, so we can't prosecute. Or somebody dropped cash, told me it was mine, and then took the cash back, took my credit card, and I didn't know. So I started noticing the open purses at all the grocery stores I was at, and then we developed a program to try to stop it. So Adult Protective Services, the mission isn't just to remove people from their homes. We want them to stay there. Or the team, I don't work for Adult Protective Services, but they want the elder to stay where the elder wants to be. So it's a voluntary service, and we work very closely with them. They can do a lot of different connections to resources, just like 211. Who knows about that in our county? It's really, really cool. It's easy. You literally dial 211, and it's for any age group, for any type of resource. And if our county has it, they'll connect you and refer you. So dialing it, you'll speak with a human that can tell you where you can go for whatever service you may need. People have called it for diapers for their children. They can call to set up dial-a-rides for transportation. Meals on Wheels is seniors first, but they'll find seniors first. Transportation is like the main thing, in housing that they can help you with. But anything the county has, Adult Protective Services works closely with them, because Adult Protective Services, their focus is 60 and older, 211's any age group.
So 211 is only in Placer County?
It's other counties too, but we do have a contract that our county pays to keep it here.
Wait, that started about a year ago. I think Placer County had a contract with 211.
So we want you to...
Nevada County's 211.
Okay, yeah, so wherever you call out from, they'll connect you to that one. So we want you to know that you guys have the ability to help protect people too in the community by making an APS report. So just knowing about it, it can be for anything, but just listening to your gut, just let us do the investigation side of it. You can make the report and think something's off. Maybe you see your neighbor Ruth getting the mail and now she doesn't get the mail. You can just call and say, can someone check on Ruth? They're not going to tell Ruth that you made the call. It's confidential, and Ruth has to be willing to accept services. So they don't force it on her. If she says, I'm fine, that's fine. But maybe you still feel like something's off and you make more reports. Eventually she'll be open to telling what's really happening behind the door and getting resources. So they're great. We love them. They do a lot of good. They're case managers. They're not law enforcement, but it is similar to a welfare check if you need that. You can call for yourself too if you just need access. They're helpful for anything. Protect seniors. So that's the number, if you guys haven't heard of them. Again, confidential, which is nice, and voluntary. I put the flyer here if you want to take a photo, or here. We have an annual senior resource fair coming up in September. But it's exciting. There's a lot of different opportunities to connect with nonprofits that are focused on supporting seniors. You can have a legal advice moment with our legal services. You can make an appointment, and that's free. You can talk to Best Buy about any tech questions. That's free. We'll have coffee. The district attorney, Morgan Geyer, will be there. Placer County Animal Services will be there. Kaiser free flu shots. But the point is, this year I want it to be like totally nonprofits or county or government agencies. So no for-profits, just really there, focused on supporting seniors. That is the fraud hotline I was discussing. But it also, again, is on the back of the trifolds. You can call me for anything. If I can't help you, I'll find somebody that can. We have Facebook, where we talked about the PSA was posted for the romance scam. Today we posted our 10-year anniversary of the Board of Supervisors. They proclaimed an annual Protect Day, which is exciting. And then our Placer County government website full of resources. So if you don't scan the QR code here, just know, type in Placer County, Placer Protect, get resources. We'll help you. Any questions? Yeah?
You're located in Health and Human Services on the DeWitt site?
No, but I do go there for meetings and our partners are there. We're located in Roseville, right by the courthouse off Industrial.
Okay.
Yeah.
Can you say anything about the supposed house stealing thing where someone can transfer your deed into their name? Is that actually happening? Or is that just a way to get a subscription to some,
Yeah.
Protection.
yeah.
Can it happen? Sure, it could happen. I have not heard of it happening. I have had only a handful of deed or real estate fraud cases, and it usually involves a third party or a kid or a relative signing a deed or forging documents. So it isn't some random person who's taking your deed. And we work with our clerk recorder's office. So if they see anything that's suspicious, they actually send out a letter to the homeowner and say, this is what's happened with your title or your deed. If it's not you or you didn't do it, then let us know. And the number you call when you're concerned is Cassidy. So we have a pretty good working relationship with them where they have, I can think of one case in the last 10 years where they have flagged a case and brought it to our attention, and it did end up to be fraud. But it was a person that the homeowner knew who had forged her signature.
Yeah. I'll send a letter for any change that's
So
recorded.
I'm not going to say it won't happen because
I know, but they make it look like anybody can go
Yeah, I
and
think that
forge the
knows a lot
documents
here.
and transfer, yeah.
That's like duck cleaning.
Yeah, that too, yeah, yeah.
You're hired.
My sister swears by duck cleaning.
You guys are a great group. I love what you did. I love that you saw, or you do work with the Auburn Interfaith Food Closet and just what you do in the community. So thank you for having us. We're here to